The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
This past Shabbos, I was in a place, a lot of people there, a lot of people that, struggling, that weren't well, and they got together for Shabbos. Amazing courage, beyond off the charts. A lot, as in over 1,000 people. And I have this speech that I have to give by the Suda Shabbos afternoon. And 2 weeks before, I'm racking my brains what to say. Just racking my brains. And it's up to the last night. It's Friday night. I don't have what to say. It's so sensitive. You get up there. You have to be so sensitive what you're saying. And I'm like, Rebbe Shalom, help me. So I had some stories and I had my jokes. And it's it wasn't, I didn't have the fastball. And I went to sleep at night and I said, okay, God, I give up. I'm in your hands. And I woke up the next morning and I'm not very good with directions. Hotels, they're all built in such a way that you get very confused very quickly. And I wound up walking down the wrong stairway. And I wound up in the back of the hotel instead of the front of the hotel. And there were a bunch of Bachrim, and I wound up davening in a Bachrim minyan, which was part of the program, but I wasn't supposed to be there. And they then came to Kriyas HaTorah. They were waiting for the Sefer Torah. Really, it was supposed to be coordinated that they should start laning as soon as the first big minyan finished. But when the first big minyan finished, there was another unofficial minyan of guys that came late, and they took the Sefer Torah, and now we were stuck for an hour. So what's going to be with the next hour? So they were mechabed me to speak. So I'm getting up today. I'm not prepared to speak, and I'm talking to them, and I'm worried about the next speech. And this is the Bacharim. And you always got to give your best shot. You can't say, "Well, I got to save my voice because I'm getting." You got to give your best shot to where you are now. And then again, schmoozing, and I'm telling them about a story, which many of you have heard, which many years ago. To make a long story short, I'm not going to get into it. I'm in yeshiva, and it's the first day of yeshiva, and they asked me if I want to go to Los Angeles to speak to this big convention of kids. I said, I can't leave on the very first day. Okay? Period. No way. I'm not leaving on the very first day, yeshiva. So they have a great idea. Maybe you can give this shir in your classroom and we'll bring in cameras. They didn't have Zoom in those days, but they had something called a satellite dish. It was much more complicated. A truck came with a satellite dish, but it was very expensive. But it could be done. And I'm like, I don't want cameras in my classroom. Okay, you don't want cameras in your kitchen. You know what I mean? I don't want cameras in my classroom. And they said, no, come on. So I had a very difficult class, and there were two kids in my class, not using real names. Okay, let's say Yanki and Shimi. Yanki is this 8th grader. I taught 8th grade for 40 years. Yes, I got 10 years off for good behavior. And there's this. You remember when you were in 8th grade? So I try to explain Yankee. He's this kid, this innocent-looking kid that could just destroy a classroom, and he has he's the type that takes one of his sitzes and tickles someone's ear and goes like this, and the other guy, you did it. Two kids are fighting away, and he's just smirking in the background. You know what I mean? You know that kid. And there's this other kid. I'm not saying Shimmy. I'm just picking a name out. It's not really Shimmy. And he's this kid. If you touch him, he goes, "Ow!" You know that kid. Especially middle class, the world comes to an end. This is going to be some year. Usually the first day, they give you a break. So I'm telling the kids that, they want to come in with a camera. I don't think it's a good idea. They said, it is a good idea. Let's do it. Let's not do it. Let's do it. Let's not do it. Let's do it. Okay, fine. We're doing it. But I warned them they better behave. So if they behave, I'm going to take them to Niagara Falls. I'll take them to the moon. I'll have front seats. They'll watch Russia invading Ukraine. They're going to have everything, I'm telling you. And if they don't behave, I'm warning you, you're going to lose your recess for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, between the first and second dance of your wedding, no recess. I'm telling you, forget the word recess, okay? It's over. It's gone. And so, of course, I separate Yankee and Shimmy, right? I walk out. This camera guy comes in for a minute. Somebody called me out. He starts rearranging the kids so that it fits better with the camera thing. And I walk back in, and there's Shimmy and Yankee right next to each other. I said, oh, no. And he goes, you're on. You're live. There's no time to... And I'm telling this story. And toward the end of the story, it's I have 5 more minutes to go. The guy showed me 5 more minutes. And Yankee takes out an orange. It's I never, at all the things I told him, don't do this, no skating, no this, no that, there's one of the parks that says, I didn't tell him no eating oranges, right? And I'm I can't tell him put the orange down because his cameras are on me. So I'm finishing off a story. So I try to put it into the story, like try to say, like, and the mean poet said to the Yid, holding out his sword, put the orange down, okay, and hoping he'll get it. Yankee's not getting it. You know what I mean? He's not getting it. Yankee is not getting it. And he is, and then when he's finished, only 8th graders know how to do this. He takes the orange, they know how to take an orange peel and turn it into a water gun, you know what I mean? You know, Shia, they go like this, and it spritzes. And this is what he does, and it spritz. And it spritzes straight in between Shimmy's eyes. And I know, and I'm trying to somehow, so I wanted to say in the story, and then there was an earthquake, and a tsunami, and a meteorite hit the ground, at least the sound effects, so I'm like trying to cover my tracks here. And I'm trying to get the camera, can you point to the window, like, And I know Shimmy's going to explode. I know he's impulsive. I don't think he's a Balbchira. And I can't say anything to him, and our eyes lock. And I'm like pleading, Shimmy, hold yourself back. Just do me a favor, please. There's thousands of people watching. I'm talking to an 8th grader, and Shimmy gives me this nod. Okay. He gives me this nod, like I'm in pain. Every part of my body says punch Yankee and explode. And Yankee's the guy that ducks, and he winds up hitting the wrong kid. And I know what's going to happen. And he nods. Okay, I see your predicament. You're running the show. Okay. Anyway, it finishes, and I had a great year with Shimmy, even though Shimmy was, again, his name is not really Shimmy, but I had a great year with him. And I had to get him into a Masifta, and I turned over worlds to get him into a Masifta. I did it for all the kids, but with him, everyone said Shimmy. Most people by Hanukkah, most Rebbeim were on tranquilizers with him already. The extra strength Tylenol, they wrote Shimmy on it, you know what I mean? He said, it was that moment that he nodded, like, okay, I know your situation. I'm in trouble, but I'm not going to mess you up. And I said, there's that moment between us, and the Rebbeinu Shalom. So when I always said the story, I always said, as far as the Rebbe goes, what about as far as the kid goes? And all of a sudden I had this idea in my mind as I was talking to these Bachrim, and I said, think about where the Shimmy is in our life, right? There's a moment in your life you feel like the world's coming to an end. You're in such pain, you're in such fear, Chas v'shalom, the world is caving in, there's such sorrows out there, and you say to Hashem, okay, God, okay, all right, I'm not gonna lose it, okay? And God says, you nodded to me, we had that exchange with our eyes, I owe you. And the Rebbeinu Shalom owes us. And all of a sudden that was my speech for Shabbos afternoon. I said, I couldn't have prepared it. It came out as I was talking to the Bachrim. It came out as I was watching them and reminiscing. I said, I had to take that wrong stairway down. I had to not have the Sefer Torah. It took me an hour of telling them stories till I got to this story. And that's what the Ramah says. The Ramah says there's no official Suda. The Purim is open nisim, okay, miracles. Okay, hidden miracles, open miracles. Toiv leiv mishtatamid. You seem to be going in the opposite direction. In the opposite direction, I'm telling you, you can find a bracha, you can find a tchiyas hamesem that under normal circumstances you would have never ever found in your life, in your most difficult moment. Just have the courage to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm so messed up, you can't imagine. God, okay, I'm in your hands, don't worry. And then God owes you. And what could be better than that?
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org